Hey, Divine One, Nikayla Mariah here, inner child and self mastery expert and divine channel at your service. And this is my podcast. It is my mission to guide you back into remembering of all that you are as you stand in your highest self and live this life on earth to your fullest and most joy filled ability. It's time to stand fully in your power, optimize your energy, and let wealth rain down on you as you get clear on your energy, mind, body, and spirit. This is for the divine ones, the cosmic beings, the creatives, industry leaders, and stars who are ready to activate their fullest potential and live a life of purpose, peace, and pleasure as we create a new world. It's time to remember the divine being you are and act accordingly. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Embodied Divinity. Today, we are talking all about what it means to live a more heart centered life. We also have a very special guest this Wednesday, Christina Kim, who leads entrepreneurs into heart centered business. And then Friday, an expansive heart opening. So this week is all about the heart and really deepening your connection. Let's talk for a second about why. Well, as we stepped into this new paradigm, we are no longer living simply from the mind. The mind is often attached to the ego. The mind is often attached to expected or perceived outcomes and ideas of the past. When we drop into the heart, we drop into the present moment. We drop into our deep inner knowing, our innate cosmic intelligence. Living from the heart is living from that calm, peaceful place within. We're no longer trying to figure everything out or control. We're simply moving in alignment with our soul's innate truth. It's a really powerful place to be, but a lot of people get so disconnected to living from here for a lot of reasons. I mean, there's especially in, a few years ago, everything was mind centric. Everybody, talked about the strength of leading from your mind, listening to your mind over your heart, and really discounting and invalidating the power of our heart, our emotions, our innate way of being. Now, as more and more are awakening, we're seeing the value in living this way, in this really deep, trusting, surrendered place of living moment by moment, of listening and honoring our emotions. But still, a lot of people are scared to feel what's there. And because they've numbed and ran away and tried to escape this feeling centered way of being for so long, there's a lot that's there whenever they try to come back to themselves. They get flooded with all this remnants of emotion that's been compressed and compressed and compressed. And so, of course, it feels safer to go back into the mind, back into that perceived sense of control. It's doing the inner child work, the shadow work, the finding that inner peace that allows you to kind of clear all that debris that's sitting around your heart wall, that's creating the fear and the tension and the need for perceived control. The inner child school of unlearning is a really beautiful place for you to go and shed all of these layers. It's a self-healing community, a portal where you can go in and learn about the wounds that you picked up as a child that kind of covered up that innocent, pure, wild nature. You can find the links below wherever you're listening to this to dive in there. But really, it's about getting comfortable being uncomfortable as we start to live heart-centered. It does, I promise, get easier. I love and I really know no other way anymore of living any way other than from my heart, because I have uncovered that debris. And if you've started this process, you do know the power and expansion that comes from living in this heart-centered way. But we have to slowly start to uncover all the things that have kept us from our heart center. In the past few weeks, we've been talking a lot about living from your intuitive primal nature, about really getting your nervous system regulated and healthy so that as you listen to your intuition, as you honor and own those primal instincts and that primal nature, that you can move forward from a healthy, clear, regulated knowing. So that all that debris, all that past programming, all of those karmic patterns, that generational trauma is not what's leading you. It's a really, really beautiful place to be. So let's practice a couple things for heart-centered living. Number one, right now, for the rest of this session, just place one hand on your heart. What this does is it immediately draws all the attention to this heart space. Now, remember, chakras 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have both a front and a back on your human body. So we're going to focus on the front of our heart space and the back of our heart space. And we're just breathing in. Breathe into the front, breathe out to the back. Friday's meditation will really help you open this. But for now, breathing in lightness, exhaling the heaviness. Breathing into the front of the heart, out of the back of your heart. And like I said, for the rest of this session, breathe that way with careful attention on your heart. And do this 5 minutes every day, placing one hand on your heart, breathing in and out from that space. The other thing you can do is chanting Yam. Yam is the seed sound of the heart chakra. I like to do this when my heart feels heavy. I like to do this in 5-minute increments. And again, you'll get to experience this in the meditation on Friday, but chanting Yam in a really slow, toned, fully embodied way breaks open that energy around your heart. Really sinking into gratitude, whether you wake up and write words of gratitude or you stop to appreciate the small moments in life. Gratitude is one of the biggest heart openers. As you appreciate what's here now, you open and expand to hold more. So writing a gratitude list or setting the intention to walk in gratitude each and every day is really going to help you live from this heart-centered space. I wouldn't be me if I didn't mention meditating daily if you can. And really the reason we do this is number one, when you first start meditating, what you're doing is simply observing the thoughts that are there. So a lot of people get frustrated when they start meditating because they think they need to silence their mind. But actually at the beginning, meditating is a practice of observing the thoughts that are there. And as you observe them without attaching to them or saying, why are you here? Or trying to get them to go away, they actually do dissolve. And slowly but surely, as you deepen into your meditative practice, you start to enter a place of stillness or no mind, where there are no thoughts, where there are no anything. It's just this really deep, beautiful, serene stillness. And it's in that place of stillness that we really learn what it feels like to move from our heart, to listen to our heart, and to really have that sacred connection with heart. So meditating and just getting a meditation practice in place really helps. And of course, being out in nature, the Earth Mother, being in her sacred womb of creation, putting your bare feet on the soil, touching a tree with your bare hands, whatever it is, really allows you to breathe in that element of air, that heart-centered way of being. And then the Hertz frequency, 7.83, which you'll hear in Friday's meditation, but also there's a ton of frequency sounds on Spotify and YouTube. 7.83 is that heartbeat of the earth. It is the frequency of love. Also, Rishabha frequency 528 is that heart opening frequency as well. So I've given you things you can observe, things you can physically do. We've gone out into nature, we've breathed in the air, we've listened to the sounds, we've sunk into gratitude. Another thing is doing something with your hands, whether it's baking or putting your hands in the soil, repotting plants, or creating with crafts, something that really physically allows you to touch and be in the moment for no outcome. You're not creating something to sell. You're not creating something to give. You're simply just in that space of creation. Remind you that you are this powerful co-creator. So you have something to smell, to touch, to listen to, a frequency to tune yourself into. All these things are allowing you to connect with your inner nature, with your natural state of being, with your heart-centered essence. And it's in practicing this way of being, it's in really embodying this heart-centered nature, being okay with whatever is here now, not trying to control it, but instead stepping back into the observer, letting your heart lead the way, is going to radically shift your life. And like we've talked about before, this is the way of the new earth. The new paradigm that we're stepping into is heart-centered, conscious beings who are aware of what they are at the core. Love is a frequency that we reside in. And every emotion we feel, every experience we navigate, every verbiage we use is our response to the love that is here now. The frequency of love is really the only permanent thing here on earth. Everything else is changing and responding to that frequency. So when you feel some type of emotion, you're responding to the love that is always present. If you're feeling bliss, you're responding to the love that is present with bliss. If you're feeling anger, jealousy, rage, you're responding to the love that is present with those emotions. And what that does is it teaches you. It shows you how to step into more alignment with love. You can ask yourself questions. Knowing anger is your friend. Hi, anger, why are you here? Maybe anger says, I'm here because one of your boundaries was violated. Can you honor and love yourself more in this moment? Can you give yourself grace in this moment? Can you use heart-centered words to express your feelings in this moment? And by doing all of those things, you align deeper with love, and the anger dissolves, which was the piece of guidance showing you how you were responding to the love there in that moment. And you find yourself back in that really peaceful, neutral state of love. When you look at grief and you say, hi, grief, knowing it's your friend, why are you here? I'm here because you experienced perceived loss, because you felt like you lost something. I'm here to show you that your love was so big that when this person, experience, opportunity left your life, your ego thought it was losing a part of itself. I'm here to remind you that you can never lose anything, that you are one with all. Breathe into that. And you slowly step back into alignment as you honor the grief. You realize you can never really lose anything. When you feel joy, excitement, gratitude, knowing they are your friends, hi, why are you here? I'm here because you're open to receive, because you're standing in the frequency of love. Allow more of this. Thank you, I will. And you stand in alignment with those feelings. It's from this beautiful, careful observation, this state of being, this state of presence, that we live from our true nature, that we really embody the love that is always present here now for us, within us, all around us, through us. It's from there that we can see each and every individual from that lens of love. I've told this story before, but when I see others who are in a state of suffering, It is my heart-centered nature to do what I can in that moment to help them return to love, because I know that in doing that, I am helping myself. Through the lens of love, I see that each and every person is also me. And so when I see someone who is experiencing homelessness, I'll be that person who sits down to have a conversation with them, to say a prayer over them. If the circumstances aren't aligning for me to do that, I can send them grace, healing, loving energy, knowing that as I uplift the energy and frequency around them, I am doing it for another aspect of myself. As we raise the frequency of humanity as a whole, we are helping that greater part that we come from, knowing we are a fragment of source consciousness having this individual experience. But in the end and in the always, we are all one. We are all that source consciousness having these little fragmented experiences. And as we send love, guidance, a helping hand, a hug to our brothers and sisters here on earth, we are doing that for ourselves too. As we receive, we are allowing the whole earth to receive. The more we have, the more the whole world benefits. And I'm not necessarily talking about tangible material things, but even when you think about the frequency of wealth and money, I know that the more wealth and money I have, the more I can give. The more gratitude I have, the more love I can give, the more peace I have, the more stability I can give. It's as we move from this heart-centered space that we really start to see humanity as a whole. And it's in our own individual healing and heart-centered way of being that we change the world. That phrase, be the change you wish to seek, I have it tattooed right across the left side of my chest, right over my physical heart space. Because as we live being the change we want to see, we actually are changing the frequency of the world. And so when you sink back, and I hope your hand is still on your heart and you're breathing in and out, and you notice these sensations, what it feels like to live from this heart-centered space. I hope you can see the benefit of living and moving from this way. How much freedom is created when we dropped all these preconceived ideas, this perceived control, when we stopped trying to fix an outcome and just let it be, knowing we are held, we are worthy, we are whole, we are enough in each moment. And as we move from those nudges, that shift in the heart that says, move here, say this, be here, breathe deeper, we really come deeper and deeper into alignment with consciousness, with source. So just practice today. Practice living from that heart-centered space. Do some of these exercises we went over. Listening to both Wednesday's featured guest, her experience of moving into a new heart-centered way of being, and Friday's activation meditation will all allow you to live more in alignment with your heart-centered nature. Grace and compassion are always around you as you receive them. And remember, I have not only the Inner Child School of Unlearning, which is a powerful self-healing portal, but I also have one-on-one mentorship in my Embodied Divinity program that will give you one-on-one intimate guidance for 6 months, really allowing you to live permanently from this heart-centered place. However you decide to move forward, you can find all the resources below wherever you're listening to or watching this. And I thank you for trusting me with this process, for being on this journey with me, and for receiving the love that I have to give through these words and through this time I invest each week here with you. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles. See you next time. Thanks for listening, Divine One. It truly has been an honor to guide you deeper into yourself today. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to create a ripple of support for my podcast, please share it with your friends, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. You can find me on all the socials by searching Nikayla Mariah or checking the link in my bio. As always, breathe deep, plan on miracles, and know life's about to get a whole lot more magical.